Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
I would say the panic is definitely misplaced. I've told you guys before, almost every single scenario that I can think of right now is actually bullish for Bitcoin / crypto holders, yet the consequences have not really showcased that. I mean, let's look at the markets right now. Bitcoin is going down, when in reality, I think the majority of the push is coming because the traditional assets like the stocks, I should say, the indices, are going down as well. You know, they're going down quite rapidly, and it just actually doesn't make a lot of sense for Bitcoin to move in the same fashion. But here it says, Bitcoin war or no war, are Russia-Ukraine tensions good for Bitcoin holders? And whatever happens in this little piece of trouble, it's going to be good for Bitcoin. Does it go well? Okay, markets recover and do well. Boom, bullish for Bitcoin. Does it really turn out to be a big deal? Okay, boom. They can either drop the dollar like crazy. They can either basically make it so that people fear of further consequences. Whatever it does, it is going to be bullish for this decentralized money that knows no borders, knows no bounds, knows no backing from a central government, is not loyal to one entity. Basically, there's definitely just the appeal for cryptocurrencies with heavier tensions, and that makes me realize, it makes me think, why exactly would the price go down right now at all? Now, I think if we started that debate, we could definitely be sitting here for the next 9 hours just talking back and forth about what exactly would cause the price to move in a certain direction. There's just so many different reasons, but you know what? Let's kind of skip out on that. Let's realize and think for right now, saying, hey, most underlying factors here are bullish for Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. The price might not be reflecting that, but it is. And so let's look a little bit further, think about all the bullish sides about it, and that's again what keeps us motivated to keep buying more. And let's not get distracted, I would say. Here's a couple of pieces of news. Manchester City is building the world's first football stadium in the metaverse. I think it's kind of stupid, but it also isn't. You know, the reason I'm saying it's kind of stupid is because I'm thinking, well, why does it matter exactly who's building the stadium where, right? I mean, in theory, I would say you can say these. Alright, I've kind of rethought my thoughts here because I should be a little bit more careful. Now, what I'm trying to say is we already have a lot of football games, right? We have FIFA, for example, PES, whatever. We have a lot of different football games. Or soccer games for US people. There's so many stadiums in this virtual realm already. The only thing which they're changing is they're making it in a realm where you can actually walk in and whatnot. But if a FIFA, for example, added that, it'd be like, oh, nice, now what? You can walk in this. You actually want to sit there in the stadium and watch it? Yeah, it's going to eventually be some sort of thing. But the fact they're building it and they're making it such a big deal, I'm thinking, like, I honestly think it takes about a couple of hours to pull that through. Maybe if you want to go the whole stadium in real detail, okay, it takes a little bit of time, but they've most likely done the majority of these parts already, as they've modeled out. There's a lot of 3D, proper 3D, modeled things already out there, so it's not really that special in that sense. I'm thinking, why is this the biggest news? I guess the bigger news is that Manchester City is going for it and doing it, right? That's what makes it a big deal, because I mean, just making a stadium in there is not really Alright, having said that though, Canadians withdraw money from banks in astonishing numbers. Again, yet another very bullish little sign for Bitcoin. Canadians are withdrawing money from banks as the government threatens to freeze accounts without the need for a court order. Guys, before we move on, make sure, by the way, that you press the like button on this video, and also make sure you check out my Twitter, On there, the name is usdt. If you're not following me there just quite yet, do that. Why not? You're missing out. And also on Instagram, it is usdt. So make sure again that you go ahead and check it out. Let's move on though. Let's move on. Alright, so detainees will become members of a misconduct file where they will be banned from accessing certain types of employment, plus will be named as Bitcoin and other crypto might be an effective mechanism to overcome unreasonable government actions. And again, I think that's one of the main proponents of this entire crypto, so I would definitely say I agree with that. Then again, guys, these videos are not financial advice or life advice. A lot of the stuff I say might sound to you like a smart idea. In reality, it could be really dumb. And of course, conversely as well. It might sound stupid, but maybe I'm speaking facts, A lot of this stuff is still a crazy space. And at the end of the day, we will not notice what was right or what was wrong until it has happened, kind of. So, U.S. lawyers, this is Ripple v. SEC. U.S. lawyers on the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit. SEC could lose both its pawn and bishop. Very interesting title. Got me interested. Apparently, Jeremy Hogan from the Hogan & Hogan law firm, who has been closely following, says that the SEC lawyers made a very huge mistake. As you might remember, they sued Ripple. The most recent event in the lawsuit took place February 17th when LaDon Stewart, senior trial counsel at Division of Enforcement at the SEC, wrote a letter to U.S. Magistrate Judge Ned Byrne at the court in which it was said the filing this motion for partial reconsideration and clarification of the court's order. Stewart wrote, yada 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 yada. You can read this, but I don't think it's too necessary here. Let's actually go over it real quick. The motion is limited to the court's ruling with respect to entry 9 of Appendix A. After reading it again, I'm thinking, no, it's not actually worth it. We've read this a couple of times. Read through it for yourself. Here's the conclusion. So, Jeremy Hogan explained, in litigation, you have your strategy, your theory of the case, or the theory of the issue that you're arguing. And you have to stick with it. In a DUI defense case, for example, your legal position may be that your guy had been drinking but was not impaired. If that is your position, you get your client straight on it, and you do not waver. If he gets up at the stand and says, well, now to think about it, I don't think I drank that night, you're screwed. And that was pretty funny. The entire argument completely backtracks on what the SEC has been saying for almost the last year. What does it mean for a legal strategy standpoint? Look at what the SEC has just done. It's not a good idea because it opens up the possibility that the SEC could lose both its pawn and its bishop. The judge has already made a very strong determination that as far as she's concerned, the speech was Hinman's personal opinion. Now, in this motion for reconsideration, it has given her more very similar documents to review and has changed the position on the speech 180. So 2 things. 1, the SEC wants to say, hey, we have a lot more documents that you might want to check out. Do it. Interesting. And 2, I'm putting the fingers here because it's a little bit out of, whatever. Point 2 is they think all of a sudden a little bit differently about the speech. Now, it's again a little bit old news, so I don't want to spend too much time on that, but if the SEC, and this is again why everybody's calling this the most important part in the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit right now, if they do end up losing some part in this, it could be very detrimental. Alright, everybody on the freaking interwebs is talking about this, man. OpenSea, OpenSea, OpenSea. You know what? I am making a video about this, alright? I'm making an entirely separate video about everything that's going on, as there's such a huge amount of controversy. A lot of people are saying it's been a phishing attempt. A lot of people are saying it's been a hack, because apparently a user lost like 600, I believe it might be millions of dollars that it lost, but there's so many different ideas, different thoughts. So some guys said the attack on the OpenSea happened soon after it was revealed that a bug in the code was allowing people to sell NFTs with old prices basically and buy them in some way like that. Here it says, feel bad that a lot of folks are calling this an OpenSea hack when it seems like under 50 people fell for this phishing email. It's terrible that this happened, but OpenSea already has enough things that they aren't doing correctly, and calling this a hack adds the stress of their team, because at the end of the day, they say nothing happened. Some people are calling it a glitch, some people are blah blah blah, but I'll make an entire video about it, most likely within a couple of hours, most likely tomorrow morning, I guess, talking about all the different details about it, because it is quite interesting. It's definitely been a big hurdle though for them, I think. I don't think they like any statements like that. It hurts your platform a lot. U.S. Senate on the verge of passing new legislation to closely monitor the risks associated with El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption. It's actually something I didn't really see before. Bipartisan senators present a bill to combat the risks facing America as a result of El Salvador's Bitcoin law. The bill highlights concerns over how it affects U.S. sanctions and money laundering, and Bukele has expressed his annoyance with the new bill over on Twitter. I wouldn't say this is actually very important. Why? Because any monitoring thing like this, I see the good and bad sides of it. So the reason I'm saying it's not important is because regardless of whether or not we see the bill, something along the lines is being done anyway. So what exactly does we're going to pass a bill to allow us to closely monitor the risks. I'm not exactly sure what in this bill now is going to allow them to do more than they would have already done, because we're talking here about them now being allowed to closely monitor the risks. If they're going to implement something, they're going to assess the risks properly as well, right? Or if they want to work with a country, they might assess all the what exactly does this change? Now again, call me illiterate, call me I guess ignorant in that sense, because I might not know enough about the law to understand. But I'm just thinking, well, I don't know what type of difference this makes over in the U.S. When they now have a little bit extra authority. Do they really though? Do they really? Apparently, this is really interesting to me. Whales are counting sheep, and Bitcoin may finally be ready for. I actually made a video yesterday talking about how the bull run might last, or at least will come back in about 2 years from now by the Huobi founder, because of the halving cycles. There is definitely something to be said about that. Again, guys, we are not trying to say every single day will be bullish, or every single next morning is going to be better than the previous one, so to speak. You should always wake up beautiful, No, wait a minute. You should always wake up, I guess, satisfied and happy with everything that's going on. But they can definitely be better days than others, I would say. Then again, the number of whales on the network with 100 to 100,000 Bitcoin. Okay, that's a pretty big gap, though. Oh, I got 100 Bitcoin. That's pretty good. I got 100,000 Bitcoin. Oh, same. Has remained flat since February 1st. These wealthy market participants do not appear interested in buying Bitcoin at the current price levels and could be expecting to buy Bitcoin at a further discount. I personally have a little bit of I don't know how you call it, for Bitcoin at 3,000. I know you guys hate when I talk about that. I really see a lot of angry comments every single time. But you know how happy I would be if I got to buy more Bitcoin at like $3,000 or so. You know how many people? No, never mind. Let's not do it. Never mind. Let's not say anything too stupid here on the interwebs today. I just wanted to say, I definitely would like myself some very cheap Satoshi again. Some very cheap little cryptos, even XRP, man. If it would just go back to like 7 cents or so, I'd definitely be pretty satisfied. I'd definitely be pretty happy, because a lot of people are forgetting the XP price right now is still pretty damn juicy for what it was about a year ago. If we compare it back to about a year and a couple months ago, yeah, I think it was like 17 cents or so a year, like maybe 14 months ago. So from that perspective, the price is still doing pretty damn well. And from that perspective as well, if it just goes back to like 50 cents, I will definitely buy some more, so you guys probably know from my videos. But if it goes all the way down to like 30 or even lower than that, I'm gonna have a good time. I wish to buy more. It's 10 cents or so, but I don't think it's gonna get that far. I also don't think Bitcoin is gonna go back to 3, but I root for both sides, Anytime it goes down lower, I'm having a fun time because I get to buy more. Anytime it goes up significantly, I have a fun time because I get to buy more. And what I've done, guys, is I've made a system for myself where at any different scenario, I make money. What I've done, for example, is our hedge strategy or scenario. So that basically we have a lot of crypto in our portfolio, but we open a short position on cryptos, like Bitcoin, for example, that will do well in times that are messed up, like this one right now. So right now we have a short position open as well. Today we actually were playing a little bit of a lot of Palooza, like a little bit of a crazy, I guess, I would say a higher frequency of trades than normal, because I've actually done like 5 today or so, which is not normal for me. I only do like 1 every 3 days normally or so, and I've done like 4 or 5 trades actually today. And the most important one, I would say, is actually opening up a long position. As I told you guys in the previous video, we took profit at about 3.7%. I thought it was going to be 4, but unfortunately it was not. And that is actually due to the way you order things with limit orders or market orders, right? Because if you do a market order, sometimes it gets a little bit more expensive if you're doing it with a lot of money. So you put limits in, but also you want to maximize the profit most of the time, so you put limits in as well. And I was actually already satisfied with taking 1% profit, but it turned out to be like 3.7. So that was definitely a very good, little take in. Then again, we did add afterwards to the short position because, well, the price looked to actually be going down after about 4.5% upward. So call us lucky, call us strategize, call us whatever you want. But the short position that I've been shouting at for weeks and weeks now, it's been one of the best decisions of a lifetime, because the lower it moves, did we call this out at $45,000 flat? Look back at the videos. I'm going to show this video to you guys tomorrow. I'll grab it up here again and show you. At $45,000, I was screaming at you guys, open up a short position, not because you know the Bitcoin price will fall down, because it can pump. And there's a couple of different scenarios in which it could pump. But just to prevent yourself from losing a lot of money. That's what we said. That's what we did. And again, at some point, I actually did get it out of the way a little bit. And that's actually by moving your money from a short to a long. Sometimes it's a smart thing to do. You actually are best to open multiple different accounts or have the different pair. So instead of the USDT pair, use the Bitcoin, basically the Bitcoin pair on its own. But there's a couple of different caveats, a couple of different parts. Some of you guys in the comment section were saying, please don't talk too much about leverage trading. I would say leverage trading can actually be a really good thing as long as you do it responsibly. I would never say do something which you don't understand, Definitely make sure you understand what you're doing. But I would say that leverage trading is something that I really enjoy, and I think it's a lot of fun. Then again, it's also something that I make a lot of good money with. So there's definitely good sides to it. The bad side is if you are just kidding around. It's the same thing as a lot of different things. If you're doing things irresponsibly, it's irresponsible. That's the literal definition of doing something irresponsibly. As long as you use the platform in a way that it's intended to, which is you get to maximize, for example, 1% move with more money or more, again, leverage. Works like a charm for what it wants to do. So Bybit is the one I use. The link is down below for that. I enjoy it a lot. I don't know what else I have to say about that. Things are right now in a really interesting spot though, but my shorts are still open. What am I going to turn it around? it's difficult because with that one, with the shorts, I'm thinking I'm not actually here to take profit on those. There's no real benefit in me doing that. It's mostly for what if you get a worst case scenario and Bitcoin just keeps falling down lower and lower and lower. Then I at least have something which kind of saves my portfolio a little bit. But I'm actually more so hoping that we actually do turn back around. And again, like I said earlier, I would definitely be happy with the Bitcoin at 3 or so to buy a ton. But I'm also definitely happy if Bitcoin just all of a sudden pushes to 100K. You know, I'd definitely be satisfied with that as well. So don't get me wrong. And whenever I talk about Bitcoin on its own, just know that I talk about a lot of cryptos in a little basket. It's just easiest to kind of consider Bitcoin the main proponent of it all, and then kind of extrapolate it further. Because hopefully you guys understand that Bitcoin is the center, but a lot of other cryptos have their own little course. It all kind of comes down to the same thing. All right, no one wastes too much of your time anymore. This is going to update in a little bit. I think it's going to be more negative. Obviously, the price did move down. Things are looking interesting. It's coming right back to its most important Fibonacci support. Right now turning to a resistance and it's falling back down. We already expect this to be a critical level. Let's see how this plays out. The RSI is moving in unison with the Bitcoin price right now, but this is again as an hourly. Let's go back to the daily just real quick to see how the price is moving, because right now it is still looking like we have a second little long opportunity, I would say, to just kind of catch the bottom. As again, if we do end up closing just above the Fibonacci level, things are a little bit more bullish than I would have anticipated. And so right now it is still the most important bottom, like I called out in my previous video, because if we do end up closing just a little bit above, I would say I'm a lot more bullish than if it were to be under. And that's again just a little psychological thing, but it's also just a logical deduction here that a lot of people are watching one specific value, one specific spot. And so if it, again, you take this with a couple tens of dollars, right? A couple $100 maybe. So right around that.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.